into the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show with your host, Michael Carvelis.
Hey, welcome back to the only live Monday through Friday. Producer Joe, it is Friday. The only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. This is Daily Dive. I'm your host, Michael Carvelis here, live in Guyton, Georgia. Producer Joe is behind the scenes, behind the scenes in Banditland, New York. We appreciate you joining today's show. It is Friday, November 22nd, 2024. We are live on 12 on Sports via Twitter/X and YouTube, and not Blue Sky, I'm sorry to announce. On today's awesome show, we're going to get into me reacting to the sponsorship with eero, E-E-R-O, Eeyore? I don't know, whatever. We'll get into that. Also, Professor Adam Levi is back, and we're excited to talk to him. And playoff predictions, the 4th seed. We are so close. We get so far from our top rankings. First, we want to let you know you're tuning to Hype Up Month 2024. Your favorite/only Monday through Friday live lacrosse talk show in the universe is just heating up. And by the way, we want to give a shout out to our producer here, Producer Joe, who may or may not still be anonymous at one point. He is 30 years old today. Congrats to you, sir. This show, this episode, is dedicated to you. I mean, I don't know. That sounds kind of cheesy. Just whatever. It's up there. He didn't die or anything. Just whatever. All right. We also want to let you know before we get started that we are presented by tickets.12onsports.com. Head over to tickets.12ozsports.com to check out tickets for less, including the NLL. They also have concert, theater, and Broadway. Tickets.12onsports.com. Alrighty. You ready for another Mike Reacts? The National Lacrosse League and Brett Fruit is bringing in sponsor after, well, it's their first one in a while, sponsorships. It's a good thing. Again, full disclosure, I have heard of this brand. I do not know how they are pronounced. I will just go with eero for now. Basically, they are a mesh network, like they combine a bunch of Wi-Fi solutions. But the point of this is not that. The point of this is that Brett Fruit got some more money in the bank, even though we don't know what it is. I mean, I know Dane Smith's contract. I don't know what the eero sponsorship is. It seems kind of backwards, but that's just me. That's my reporting, okay? But they still got one in the bag. It's also going to sponsor two things. Number one is the Seattle Shipwrecks NLL Unboxed team. And they made my top 10 logo rank list. They did not make Producer Joe's. So screw you, Producer Joe. So also the Snowbirds were the other team that had one. So both teams that are on my top 10 have a sponsorship now, which I love. It's also going to sponsor the league's Most Assists Award. So Jeff Teat, I'm going to go and write you this check from eero right now while we're doing this. Sign the NLL. There you go, sir. Because we already know Jeff Teat probably is going to have the most assists in the league. Actually, that could be wrong, but I feel like that's a pretty good bet. And I don't know if you can make the assist bet, but I feel like it's a good one. Also, I've got news for, well, a rumor/news/leak for you. I do not know the company. I've heard what it could be, but I would say that on Monday, we're probably going to hear of another new league sponsorship/partnership. Not sure what the details of that are. What I do know is that Monday the league will announce it. So more money's coming in. Oh yeah. So I'm excited for that. But be prepared for more stuff. Maybe it's the most goals or the best goalie, Christian Del Bianco. Oh wait, he's not playing this year yet, so that sucks. That was not a shot at CDB. It's just a shot at the Calgary Roughnecks. I apologize. But that's that. It's great for the league. It's great for stability and growth. I hope it just keeps on going and going and going because we need box lacrosse to be big. Alrighty, you're not here for that. You're here for Professor Adam Levi. And we come back to this awesome, awesome show. Producer Joe gets to tune in to Adam Levi. Okay, that's just showing the graphic for no reason. We'll be right back, everybody. Don't go anywhere. I know you won't.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
America, get back on track with Dust Pod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, Professor Adam Levi. I don't celebrate birthdays, but you can.
You don't celebrate birthdays?
No, but that's not the
Like,
topic at hand.
do you
here.
celebrate? You mean you don't celebrate yours, or do you not celebrate birthdays? Period.
Period.
Wow, you are as much of a downer as I think people expect you to be. That's incredible.
Ah! So if you want to say it, you
it's
cannot.
good to
I'm
see
not going to.
In all seriousness, Mike, for another season of absolute dread and a perfect way to ruin my Fridays by coming on and talking to you. But I kid. I'm very happy to be back, and things have been going really well for you. Montana Lacrosse League broadcaster, breaking a lot of cool news. Super excited for you and the Daily Dive for another season. And happy birthday to producer Joe, who obviously went completely biased, putting the Toronto Rock in the number 5th position in his rankings, which is just, if that happens, look, I'll say it right here. If the Toronto Rock finish 5th or worse, I will pay him $100.
Oh, okay, bet. I'm saying bet. He can say bet behind the scenes. Wow. Okay, cool. Well, there you go. I have a question for you. Like just because I was thinking about the way your name is pronounced.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I was thinking about this, but if you made a jeans company, would it be copyrighted?
Yes, because of the way it's spelled.
That's dumb. You got shafted on that deal, man.
Yeah, I'm doing just fine. I don't need to sell a bunch of jeans to have a happy life. I'm all good. But kudos to Levi Strauss, who created the jeans company.
I love that you know that.
I feel like I have to. And hopefully, as I'm wearing Saskatchewan Rush Green, hopefully another Levi has a lot of success this year in Levi Anderson. So see how I did that full circle? That is why I was the Tom Borelli Award winner last year.
Oh, that's a really good way to open up the show on the segment here. Because we do know happy Tom Borelli, which we did get to last season, and happy trails to the NLL. Tell us what I don't want to say that what determines what happened here, but tell us about life after the league and delve into it if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I am super grateful for everything that has happened for me in the National Lacrosse League. Worked with some incredible people. There's some incredibly bright, young, talented people that I've praised publicly on social media who are going to do incredible things with the National Lacrosse League. I know that publicly and privately, there's been a lot of things that you have reported on that are not great in the National Lacrosse League in its future. But, I wouldn't be where I am today without everything and the opportunities that the NLL gave me, from being a video clipper for highlights to beat writing to feature writing. It's an incredible league and an incredible sport. And, I would never say that I would not go back at some point. But, every bird needs to spread its wings and fly sometimes. Amen. That's what producer Joe needs to do. I believe I can fly.
Amen.
Please, I'm sorry for singing, but anyway, it was a wonderful time. But I'm really excited for my new adventures, Lacrosse Culture Daily, back with the NLLPA, of course with IL Indoor, the Lacrosse Matrix podcast, and so many other things. So I'm very busy and very excited for my new journeys.
Yeah, congrats on all that. But no offense to Jake Elliott and the crew, but what the hell, man?
About what?
Kidding. They have more bread than us. I'm sorry. That was wrong.
What are we talking about?
Lacrosse Culture Daily.
Oh, okay. Are you talking about the Lacrosse Classified podcast? Is that where you're?
Well, he kind of is kind of pioneering the whole network, right? Him and John Don.
It's Jonathan Donville and a couple of other NLL guys.
Well, I thought Elliot was on there too, right?
The podcast is just as the Over the Crossbar podcast, or off the
taking shots
podcast with Teddy Jenner and Pat Gregoire, who you know very well. All the podcasts, all the really cool podcasts are on there. So, obviously now you guys are on Spotify. So maybe you guys, unless there's some kind of deal that you guys can't be anywhere else, maybe you should try and get on the Lacrosse Culture Daily website and spread on Spotify.
He doesn't mean that. I'm kidding. No, but congrats to you, sir. I know you released an article. Was it today? About the Ottawa Black Bears? Delve into that for me.
So I just actually released the latest on the Christian Del Bianco saga, which has been so intriguing. But Rich Lisk has been in a situation, and I know that people might say that the teams he's been involved with haven't necessarily been as successful as people wanted them to be, but there are a few people ever in National Lacrosse League history that have been involved with kind of spearheading NLL or box lacrosse in unconventional markets. He was part of the New England Black Wolves in Uncasville, Connecticut, when they first got there. An unconventional box lacrosse market had to grow that. He was obviously part of the New York Riptide, which I know people were not happy with how that was, but that's a very difficult situation. And, Rich was very candid with me in talking about a lot of the challenges that they came up against, particularly on Long Island, with whether it was fighting for media space or how much that costs to advertise, which we don't consider enough, especially in the New York market. But there will always be, and this is the unfortunate thing about field and box, is that is a hotbed of lacrosse, but for field lacrosse. And if you're paying money for field lacrosse and that's your culture, that doesn't mean it's a given that you're going to be, here's another version of lacrosse, I like it. People don't have the time sometimes for that. They don't have the money for that. There's some things that are big challenges that are hard to avoid, but it's a promising feature on the idea that in Ottawa, things are coming together, that they're working with an NHL team, which is huge. They are in a Canadian market inside a hotbed of lacrosse in Southern Ontario. So people understand the game. They watch box lacrosse in the summer. There's a lot of things going for it. You also have Jeff Teat and other great talents. So all the pieces are there for this to be a successful franchise, and you've got smart people running it. Chelsea McDermott, I believe is her name, is another one who's on the business side of things, who's been applauded by her colleagues and people as someone who's going to be playing an important role with this Black Bears team. And so I think that going into it year one, things are looking really good for the Black Bears, and I hope and I expect that things will be more successful than they ever have been with a Rich Lisk project.
Well, that's awesome. Speaking of looking good, I'm gonna go to the opposite side of that, looking bad. And we know Panther City folded like lawn chairs. I'm on the record blaming Caitlin Clark's rise in the WNBA for that, for reasons that the Dallas Fort Worth ownership probably knows better than me. But I want to focus on the dispersal draft and the league parity as we kind of get close to our season preview discussion here. How much do you think the league? I want to see the word improved, but it feels like the league competition got better, right?
100%. And I was definitely out in front there as well.
Yes,
as
you were.
But out in front on most things, Panther City there, and so. It was unfortunate to hear about everything that was going on behind the scenes and how that unfolded. And then afterwards, maybe talking to some different people and learning more about the situation and what people knew and what people didn't know. Very chaotic situation. I'm sure, the league, privately and people might admit that, things could have gone differently. I'm not sure the outcome necessarily might have been different. It maybe could have been with more time, but, I think that, it's now time to put that in the rearview mirror. And I know people are lingering on that. And, I put a tweet out yesterday on my Twitter, as you can see right below me there at Adam Levi LAX, is that it really seems to, and I'm sure that some of these things were already in play, but since Panther City folding, there have been a lot of positives that have come out. You just mentioned another sponsorship, the extension of Unboxed, a new apparel partnership. They're really trying to make strides. Whether they end up being successful or not, we don't know. It's too early to tell. The caster partnership doesn't start until next year. So if people are having issues with it, give it time. Mm-hmm. You have to give. It's just like with anything. You can't just be critical from the get-go and not give it a chance to blossom. But what we've seen is action instead of inaction, and that is incredibly important. And so if these things really pan out how the league wants it to, I think it's great. And as for the competition in the league, yeah, I think it's going to be the best it's ever been. And why wouldn't it be? So many incredible talents are now on teams that were already really good. The teams that were not good are now a lot better. So it's going to be highly competitive, very exciting, and it's going to be a great year.
Oh, absolutely. And I do think there is, like you said, value in waiting. But like you said, let's put it in the rear view. That's the last time I want to talk about it for a long time. Unless, of course, more information comes out, which I'm sure you'll be first to again. But yeah, that'll be fun. So let's talk about this. Because I feel like it'd be unfair of me if I talked about our season preview if we didn't start off first with Preston's picks. You have announced that's returning. Tell me about where to find that and also the initiative that you will announce this year along with it.
Of course. And yeah, thank you for starting out with that because, without Preston really in my life, would I be as invested in being as great of a journalist as I am today? I don't know. Probably.
Well, you'd be a nobody. Let's be real.
that was one of the better jokes I've ever heard. So not only is the show improving, but your humor is as well. I love to see that. But yes, Preston Picks coming back next week, either Monday or Tuesday. Haven't decided yet. My wife Nikki and I will talk over the weekend. We'll see what his mood's like. He is actually going to be using a wooden lacrosse stick to make his picks this year. So that is going to be very cool. And he's another year older. He's about 3.5 now. So I'm sure he's going to favor the animals, I'm sure, as you would expect from a 3.5-year-old. But, it's going to be exciting. But yes, Preston Picks, you can find it on Office Pool Junkie, just where you can find Jake Elliott's and Tino Ferra's Who You Got for these pick'ems. And this year, as was last year, you can win some really cool prizes from Loading Lacrosse and other sport lacrosse apparel places. So that is very exciting. Not giving away the signed balls again this year, mostly
Oh,
because I have another thing that I'm working on that is much more important, where you will be able to get signed stuff, and it will go to a good cause. But yes,
good.
the great initiative and I'm so grateful to the Williams family, Sean Williams, Dyson Williams, Tamara and Delana and the whole the whole Williams family, working with them for the Braver Than Brave Foundation, to help support research for Burkitt's lymphoma and youth lymphoma cancer research. Obviously, the story of Tucker Williams, Dyson's younger brother, is well documented. I'm working on a mini documentary right now on what drives Dyson to be an amazing player. It's going to be an incredible thing. I think it's going to be pretty ahead of its time and groundbreaking for what we've seen in terms of lacrosse content in the past. So I'm excited for that. But obviously, Tucker has driven so much of what Dyson has done, wearing the number 51 in his honor, as well as his father, who did the same. And so, in that breath, each week, whoever the winner is of Preston's picks, $51 will be donated in their name to the Braver Than Brave Foundation to support that cause. And as I kind of just alluded to, there will be another big fundraising thing towards the end of the year. And hopefully we can get a lot of people talking about how we can help support these kinds of research and avoid these kinds of tragic things that happen in this world. It's terribly, terribly sad. And so very grateful that the Williams family is on board with this, and yeah, just honored to have some involvement and ability to help.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of Dyson, now that you mentioned him, I know you are pretty well in tune with the Albany Firewolves. In Albany, I mean, they can only get better. And from what we read, we haven't seen any videos, much video, but he looks good in the preseason, or he sounds good in the preseason. I mean, Albany's got to be good this year, right?
Oh yeah, and first of all, I was just in another interview and I was talking about Dyson. Dyson Williams is next level. Everyone's known he was going to be the guy for a long time. I remember someone said to me, like, they knew that he was going to be the number one pick 5 to 10 years ago, the way he was on the come up like that. Hall of Fame father, so incredibly passionate and devoted to this game. Dyson Williams is the real deal, and he will be the real deal in the National Lacrosse League for who knows how long. He's going to put the league on notice, and it is going to be an incredibly wild journey for him, one that you won't want to miss. The Albany Firewolves, I think, will be very, very competitive again. The only thing that I'm interested in is that towards the beginning of the year during their run, and I think even they admitted it themselves, was people didn't know what to expect from them. They were kind of taken by surprise when they were playing the Firewolves, because this was a young team. They had been 3-15.
Yeah.
Now they know who the Firewolves are. Now they don't know them with Dyson Williams, but they know who the Firewolves are. Our team's coming into this season and saying, okay, we've got you now, buddy. Like, we're not going to let you get off to that start. Have they figured out ways to cool down that offense? Or have they figured out ways to get past Doug Jamieson? That'll be interesting to see. When you have a young team, also you have to think, how do they rebound after a year like that? They got so close to the championship, but, do they kind of recess a little bit? Or, I think that they're to expect that they're going to be equally as good. I think when you're young and when you're not as new as you were, there is some chance that
Sophomore slump.
Yeah, well, you could definitely frame it that way, but yeah. So it'll be interesting to see where they land. They're definitely, I think, a playoff team. I think that they will likely host a home playoff game again this year. It's going to be such a competitive league, though. So really, who knows?
So that was why producer Joe, and not just ranking the Rush 5th, but also saying he wouldn't be surprised if a team like the Rock missed the playoffs. That's what he was saying, because it's so competitive. Some team might do it. Even the Bandits, if I want to throw that out into the wilderness and get shot. But it feels like with the Toronto Rock, like as we go to them now, they were another team that I feel like could have really been close last year. Does Latrell Harris coming back do much for them? Does another year of Mark Matthews help? Talk to me about the Toronto Rock, man.
So I have the Toronto Rock is my pick to win it all. I think that they've put so much time and effort into it. Obviously, for their sake, I hope they don't face the Bandits in the playoffs again, because that doesn't seem to work out for them. But yeah, Mark Matthews was phenomenal in his first year in Toronto. Latrell Harris is an elite talent.
Yes.
We'll see how he comes back from the ACL injury, but he's only 26. When you're young, you kind of get a bounce back a little bit more than if you have an ACL injury when you're 30. So, I think he's going to be instrumental. It looks like Tom Schreiber, if he doesn't miss any time, he's going to miss very limited time. He's already back in training camp, so that's very exciting for them. Bad news, it looks like TD Erlin's going to be out, but even though you know that I'm a big numbers guy, and that is the whole premise of the Lacrosse Matrix podcast, unfortunately, the data has shown that faceoffs do not matter in terms of wins and losses in the National Lacrosse League. So as much as it sucks that T. Erlin will not be at the Faceoff X for some time, how much of a difference does that actually make in terms of wins and losses if you got all those other pieces there? I think they're going to be great. I think that Nick Rose is still going to be excellent. They're going to be, I think, the team to beat.
So I don't want to give away my championship prediction because we're doing that next Thursday, but darn you for being first to that. Second of all,
and I guess that's just a trend, Mike. You got to get used to it, bud.
Yeah, I'm. It's like you with Panther City reporting. Like, God, I missed the boat again, dude. I don't know what's wrong with me. All right, so let's talk about some other teams. How about the Wings? Because they're another one you're kind of in tune with, and I hate being East Coast biased here, but darn, I'm going to do it anyways. Brandon O'Neill, awesome. At least has potential to be amazing. Mm-hmm. Mitch Jones, he scores 100 points every year, even when on a bad year. What about Callum Crawford? Because that's another level. Paul Day, wow, what an offseason for him, right?
Yeah, the amount of pieces that they brought in, very, very good for them. I would also say that they did, or at least on paper, it looks like they did what they needed to do, which was bolster the back end.
Yes.
Get some better defensive depth, get some, good transition players, get the ball moving up the floor more, and obviously finding another goalie. Zach Higgins, I think, is a great goalie. And actually, not to spoil my, hot takes, my kind of, outside the box is what we called it for Inside Lacrosse pick, that Zach Higgins is going to be the goaltender of the year, in my opinion, with the Ottawa Black Bears. I just love the way he plays. He's faced so many shots, but Nick DeMude, a fantastic goalie. He's very much up to the challenge, knows he's coming into a big market. I think Philly's going to be good. Offensively, yeah, the Callum Crawford decision, he is such a talented player. It'll be interesting to see how he fits in. Callum loves the ball on his stick. He loves to run the offense. Is that what the rest of the team needs? Mitch Jones has kind of been that guy where he's had the ball on his stick a lot. There's been, other guys who have been on the come up. You got Brennan O'Neill now, how does that impact how much he actually has his opportunities? Is Callum going to go full in on being a facilitator, or is he going to try and score as much as he did last season, which I think was a pleasant surprise for everybody? I think there's a lot of questions, and with a guy of Callum's caliber, I think it definitely kind of can change a whole dynamic of a team when you bring that level of a player in. So I'm very intrigued to see how that pans out. But I do think Philadelphia is going to be improved from last year, and they got a lot of great Panther City players.
Yeah, geez, that team was so good. But yeah. So I will say this: one other team I want to get to here is a team that you got to on Twitter, I believe yesterday or today. The Seals. I think Origlieri might be second best goalie in the league behind Del Bianco, and when he's not playing, it might be Origlieri. I feel like he's going to be that good. Or Zach Higgins, of course, too, but Origlieri is awesome. Mm-hmm. The team, yeah, they still have Westberg. I know they're not going to have Stotts. They lost Dobie, they lost Dixon, but to me, Rob Hellier was once a very good player with the Rock. They brought in some other pieces, but then they've got the darned injuries and stuff that you tweeted out today. What were we thinking about San Diego? 'Cause that's such a weird thing going on.
Yeah, I mean, so it's interesting, and I have a feature article on Inside Lacrosse going out on Ryan Benesh probably next week at some point, and why he made the decision to go there. But yeah, it's going to be interesting because they get rid of Dixon and Doby, which were instrumental parts to the team, but you've got Ryan Benesh, you mentioned Rob Hellier, Ben McIntosh. You kind of get some other interesting veteran pieces on that offense there, so that'll be really interesting. Just looking over their depth chart as we speak here, if you can get the best out of Eli Gobricht, he was injured for half of last season. I think that's instrumental to the team's success. I think bringing in Zach Currier, when you talk about having a really steady, incredible goaltender in that, you need guys like Currier to push that ball up and give those offensive guys those opportunities. And Currier can do so much more than that. He is. And I think this, as you've gone over the NLLPA player poll, was considered one of the most versatile. I think they called it the jack of all trade players in the league. Really, he does so much of everything. So that's only going to be beneficial. I think the question, and this was the question also with guys like Dixon and Doby, is when you get some of these veteran guys, and especially guys like Benesh, how much do they actually have left in the tank, and how does that affect the team overall? You obviously hope it's amazing and hope that it's not a downswing, but it's always possible. They're going to be a very interesting story, and I'm excited to see it.
Me too. By the way, before I let you go, Adam, you have already announced this on Twitter, but we're going to do it here too because you're always first and we're second to everything. So we know that next week you're back for Adam Levi Friday, so we appreciate you. Also, you have a kind of a new endeavor. It's kind of sneaky. It's your Instagram. Adam _Levy_relax. Tell us about that avenue of life for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really trying to be an incredible nuisance again this year, just as I was last year. If you're trying to avoid me, good luck. It's going to be tough. But yes, on Instagram, Adam _Levy_relax. I've always wanted to kind of embrace social media a little bit more, and there's always pockets of different things, and so with how connected I am and how many different ways, whether it's I'm in games or taking my own photos or in interviews getting interesting quotes, obviously the statistical nuggets, different avenues of sharing that with different audiences. And I think that the people that see me on Instagram or the people that see me on Twitter, they're probably mostly the same, but I think that there's an overlap. Or not as much of an overlap sometimes. So that's the hope. But giving people more unique content, NLL-focused content, is the strategy there. Just flood the market with NLL content, get people talking about it, get people excited about it. That's the goal, and that's with Lacrosse Culture Daily, the writing I'll do for them, the podcast, Lacrosse Matrix podcast, the Fun Fact Fridays for the NLLPA. Coming on this show, the more we can be talking about the NLL, the better. I'm always going to be as positive as I can be about the league, the players, the teams, the coaches, and so let's just keep the conversation going.
Positive, Mr. whatever they called you. Also, if it helps you guys, PLL did the same thing where they wouldn't leave us alone. Same thing with Adam Levi. He doesn't do it. I get it. We're going to watch you. We need reels, though. We need reels from you, and then we're going to be good.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try and do some video content as well. Good. It's a good reason to force myself to get back to the gym, putting my face out there. So I think that's a good motivator for me. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. Excited to bring my camera to different arenas and be in as many games as possible. So yeah, it's going to be great, and excited to be back again, Mike.
End of the season, when producer Joe gets his $100 from you, we're both gonna have our shirts off and see how much we've improved. I'm kidding. Thanks for coming on the show, Adam.
Thank you, Mike. And you heard it here first on Daily Dive. Mike is going to be taking off his shirt at the end of the season. I know we cannot wait for that, so stay tuned.
Speak for yourself. Thanks, man. Adam Levy's awesome, but you knew that. My goodness, this is going to be fun. Next Friday, he's back in full swing with our game previews. All right. When we come back to this awesome show, we're going to wrap it up with our 4th seed. Don't go anywhere. We both know you won't.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
America, get back on track with Dust Pod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Since you're here, reminder that we are on Spotify. Search Daily Dive for the audio-only podcast version of this show. We are presented by tickets.12onsports.com. Head to tickets.12ozsports.com to see tickets for less on more than just the National Lacrosse League. All right, as you all know, I went through all of these 20 weeks of National Lacrosse League season. I picked a winner for every single game. And I came up with this. My 4th ranked team are going to be the Colorado Mammoth. Wow, we're getting high, baby, aren't we? Get it? Because, okay, well, you get it. Basically, Colorado's got Will Malcolm. Colorado's going to be healthy with Ryan Lee. Dylan Ward, I think, will be back and better than ever. And Producer Joe's got Albany, if that helps you guys. But, yeah, that's my 4th seed. I'm excited for the Mammoth this year. I think they still play the Bandits very well. If there's any team that could stump them, the Mammoth are like, I think, plus 2,000. Come on, man. It's 20-1. Take it. All right, and there's our prediction so far, with just 3 teams remaining. I've got Albany, Buffalo, and Toronto remaining. Producer Joe's got Ottawa, San Diego, and Buffalo remaining. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, cool. So there's that. And yeah, that's that. But you guys know, I have to say it every show, you guys are awesome. But thanks for watching today's show. As always, you are the bread. You are the butter. You are the, I don't want to say it, but I'll say it. You're the blood to my gang. For everyone that comes on the show as a guest, like Adam Levi, including next Friday and the Friday after that, and the Friday after that, and blah, blah, blah. Thank you for sharing your platform with us, giving us validity and relevance. For the baddest exposed father in producing history, Producer Joe, I'm your host, Michael Carvalho, saying have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Same time, same place. Where are you, Hunter Smith? This has been Daily Dive.
Thanks for watching Daily Dive. See you next time.